What up, Tyrant here, bringing a completely out of the blue deck list. I had no plans of making any more of these, but this is a deck I've been having a lot of fun with lately. I finally got around to building it and I just wanted to share it. It's Mekk-knight Orcust Crusadia. 3 archetypes which are part of the overarching World Legacy story. That's just coincidental. The important thing is it's very fun to play. It's kind of strong. Well, it holds its own in a casual setting. But that's unimportant. What matters is it's fun and it kind of works. So let's just get into it. Let's move these to the side. Start with the main deck monsters, shall we? We were using 3 Mekk-knight Purple Nightfall. Standard, very standard. 2 Indigo Eclipse. 3 Blue Sky. Again, all very standard numbers. And then 1 Red Moon. You could cut Red Moon. He's not, amazing. But I like it. It's, destruction. It's just another body. It's just another Mekk-knight name, isn't it? So 3 Orcust Gursu. Gursu Orcust, even. He is the only reason this deck works. He is the main reason that this deck works. Otherwise, we would just be playing Mekk-knight Crusadia. This boy, though, opens us up into our Orcust stuff. 1 Nightmare, 1 World Wand, 1 Skeleton, and 1 Brass Bombard. I don't think you need more than 1 of each. It's very standard Orcust stuff there. So, if you cut the Red Moon, maybe you could put in a second Nightmare, but I don't think you need more than 1 of each. You don't want to draw into them. You just want to dump them with Gursu. If you do draw into them, you've got Brass Bombard to try and get back, but you don't want them in your hand. Anyway, we've got 1 World Legacy World Crown. A bit of a tech choice on my end. You can special summon it for free. It's just a free body you can summon to zone any link monster points to on your field. Even if it's your opponent's link monster, if it's pointing to your field, drop World Crown there. You contribute it to negate the effects of a monster from the extra deck from activating and destroy the card. It's nice. It also helps you just link climb. It's 2k body, 2k. So he's nice. Now this card is unfortunately in the main deck. 1 Crusadia Reclusia. You may wonder, why are you running 1 Crusadia Reclusia? I will answer that in a bit. But for now, let's just say he's right there. If you draw him, you don't really care, because you can summon him to a link monster zone and then pop something. Or you can just climb up with it a bit. But he's just sort of there right now. We're going 2 Gamma Xiao and 1 Kum. Kaijus are nice right now. In the places I've been playing, the Kaijus have been very handy. So, because any big monsters we kind of struggle with. Dragoons, this new Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, we'll struggle with that. Anything big, scary, just Kaiju it. And then 3 Ash Blossoms. That's it for the main deck monsters. Kind of basic, kind of nice, but one thing you have to be careful of. Orcust lock you into dark monsters. So you want to make your Mekk-knight plays before you go into your Orcust plays. If you can help it, obviously. It doesn't always go as you want. But if you can make your Mekk-knights get a bit of broad presence before going into your Orcusts, then we should be groovy. Anyway, that's it for the main deck monsters. Now let's look at the spells and traps. 3 World Legacy Succession. Easy 3 of, just summon a, it's Monster Reborn. So We do a lot of linking in this deck, and having 3 of it is very nice. It kind of helps us go into Orcust plays without actually using Orcust effects as well. So, yeah. 2 Wood Legacy's Memory. I don't love this card because it locks us into Mekk-knights, which is nice. We like Mekk-knights, but it summons the monster in defense mode. It also means we can't use the token from Orcust Gersu. So if we summon Gersu with this, we get the dump, we get the Foolish Burial effect, but we can't use the token effect because the token's not a Mekk-knight token, it's a Wood Legacy token. And basically all we can end on is Morning Star is the best choice. You can get into Spectrum Supreme, which we do, one spoiler alert, but I kind of don't like it. It's a quick play, so you can obviously do it on your opponent's turn, and then whenever you summon it returns to your hand at the end of a turn, but I don't love it, but I do know we do need it. So 2 of, because I don't want it at 3. 1 World Legacy Key. The weakest of the World Legacy, the Mekk-knight Continuous Spell and Trap cards, I believe. When you activate it, you can return a banished Mekk-knight or World Legacy monster to your hand. I think it's just card. It is just card, but whatever. It negates the effects of the opponent's trap cards, which activate in the same column as a Mekk-knight. Which is kind of nice, but traps aren't overly prevalent. So, also getting that banished effect off, the most common one will be from Nightfall. But then if it's from the Nightfall you've just summoned that turn, you won't be able to summon it anyway. And then you may not be able to get him out back next turn. So it's okay. It's okay. You can get it from your banished world, return your banished world wand back, but you don't really want that in your hand unless you've got Orchestrated Return or Bombard in your graveyard. So you've got to obviously summon Morning Star, discard it, but yeah. Speaking of which, we've got 1 Orchestrated Return right here. I only want 1. We only have 4 Orcust cards in main deck. We don't need 4 Orcust monsters in main deck. It's not necessary to run more than 1. We can search it with Guardtail if we need it. So just 1. 1's plenty. 3 Cosmic Cyclone because we fuck back row. Fuck mine. Fuck Imperm. Just get rid of that shit. We don't need it. We don't need it. 1 Instant Fusion for the obvious one be Boo Winder. Boo 1 Winder. 1 Foolish Burial. Where it's Orcust. Why won't you 1 Foolish Burial? And then 1. No, we need draw in the deck. But I don't want to run Desires. Because if we lose our Orcust cards, the all one-offs, it kind of cripples the entire Orcust package right there. So we don't want Desires. We don't want Prosperity or Extravagance because we need the extra deck. We need it too much. So what we are running is Card Destruction. I had it lying around. It's cool, it's classic, it's not optimal. It's not optimal, let's be honest, but if you've got a bricky hand, if you've got Orcust monsters in your hand, you don't mind card destructing. Because then you dump them. Obviously you don't overly mind if you Mekk-knights either, because you've got Succession, we'll have the 2 World Legacy Secrets right here. It's we don't hate it. But it's mostly a bit funny. But yes, 2 World Legacy Secrets. It's the best one. Negates monster effect. Summons a level 5 from a graveyard and negates monster effects in a Mekk-knight column. It's the best one. Combine it with Indigo Eclipse, then that's 2 negates right there from 1 card. 1 Whispers. Whispers is okay. Negates spells. And it does sometimes come up. It does give you 1,000 attack and defense until the end of a turn. Which honestly does, beef you up enough to not be able to be just easily won over. So, better than Key, not as good as Secret, but still worth running. Then we have 2 Orcust Crusadia. 1 might be enough, but I like 2, because if we've used 1, and we're still, this game's still going, we have another one. I just like 2. It's simple as. And then 3 Infinite Impermanence. Why not 3 Infinite Impermanence? It's great. That's the main deck. There's ways you can quite easily lock yourself out. There's brickiness, but there's always going to be brickiness. You just got to be careful. The main thing is you've got to be careful not to lock yourself into Mekk-knights with memory or Orcusts, or Dark Monsters with the Orcust monsters effects before you've set up. Otherwise, main deck runs pretty smoothly. Extra deck. 1, Dingirsu. Obviously. He's amazing. 1, El Shaddai Winder. That goes with the instant fusion. Realistically, you only want to really summon Winder when you've got Dingirsu on board. But, you can, say you've got a bit of a shit hand. Or even if you've not got a terrible hand, let's say you just opened instant fusion. Instant fusion. Normal summon, something. Link 2, Succession. Bring back Winder. There you go, easy. Or you can actually even use secrets on Winder, because World X's secret specifies a level 5 or higher monster. Not a Mekk-knight, just a level 5 or higher monster to special summon from a grave. Bring back Winder. I mean, she's a degenerate floodgate. I know. I don't care. I like Winder. Fuck you. Well, yeah, Winder. What? Now this is a bit of a unoptimal play. 1, Clara and Narushka, I don't know how to say that, Ventrilio duo? It's a clutch card. Say if you've bricked, we'll always want to go second in this deck. Always. It's not... The only time you go first is if you don't have a choice. If your opponent's decided. And the only going first play we have is if we open one of the 3 Orcust Cursus. This card, though, if we bricked on going second, say we've just opened Symbol Skeleton, still link 1. You can summon the main phase 2. And then you've got a column to put Mekk-knights in. That's it. Realistically, for the optimal play, you should run Link Karibo instead. But Link Karibo isn't a cute twin lollies. So, who is the better card? Oh, you can only actually summon Ushka in main phase 2 as well. And it is one normal summon to set monster. Inefficient, but I don't care, it's a cute card. 2, Galatea. Of course we're running 2 Galatea, we're running Orcust cards. She's one of my favourite Link 2s. Also a cutie. There are a few waifus in this deck, let's be honest. 1 Nightmare Phoenix, because I needed a 15th card in my extra deck. And Nightmare Phoenix was just lying around. So, 1 Lieb the World Keyblade Master. I love this card. This girl, she is an absolute babe. Brilliant card. As well as Galatea, one of my favourite Link 2s. I actually think it's the same gal on both cards, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Lore. You can only summon it if you've got a World Legacy card in the graveyard. But not just monster cards, so we've got Secrets, Key, Memory, Succession. The other one, I forgot what it's called. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. Then you've got the monsters. We got Crown and Wand. All World Legacy cards. So getting her online is easy enough to summon. Once per turn, it's not a non-summon effect, it's not required, you can just set a World Legacy spell or trap from your deck. And we've got a few others, we quite like those. Succession, Secret, Key, Memory, probably not that one. The other one, Whispers, we got it. She's amazing. And when she's linked away, when she's used for a link summon, only when this Link Summon card is used for a Link Summon, you can shuffle one card your opponent controls back to the deck. She's amazing. She is amazing. Unfortunately, you can only use the set card. The term when you use her effect to set a card from the deck, you can only use that set card that turn if you control there's a World Legacy monster in your graveyard. But more often than not, we'll be probably setting secrets or whispers. Succession is, if we're going to use Succession, we'll be having something in the grave, or we'll be setting a Succession up for another turn. But irrelevant, she's amazing and I love her. And now we've got 2 Mekk-knight of a Morning Star. You're probably okay with just 1. But I like him as 2. Again, another one of my favourite Link 2s. When he's summoned, discard a Mekk-knight of World Legacy to search for a World Legacy card. It's just great. Oh, he's also got a protection effect. Any Mekk-knight which battles an opponent's monster in a different column to itself cannot be destroyed by that battle, and you take no damage. So it doesn't come up very often because there's plenty of removal about, but it is important. He's only at 2k. None of your boys go. Your highest Mekk-knight is 25. Obviously that's not huge, so he makes it so you don't just get simply run over. You're more than often not just using him for linking off highly, but he's great. Now, another one of my favourite Link monsters. There's a lot of cards I like in this deck. Crusadia Equimax, best Link 3. Why won't you want this? He's amazing. Absolutely fantastic. He's a big boy, he has negates, and he punches fucking hard. What else do you want? 1 Nightmare Unicorn, just a generic standard Link 3. Spectrum Supreme, not the most optimal boss monster, but I do believe he is worth running. When it's 2 plus Mekk-knight monsters, so Morning Star and something else is your most common bet. Sorry. If it's the only card in its column, it can attack directly. At 3000 attack, that's nothing to scoff at. You can send a card of yours that's in this card's column to the graveyard, special summon a Mekk-knight from the deck in defense position. I don't know why you'd realistically do that. More often than not, you can summon Purple Nightfall to banish Purple Nightfall to then bring Purple back with your key, if you wanted to go like that. Gersu for dumping, or just having a defense mode dude on board for no reason. But his best traits, if he points to no monsters, he cannot be destroyed or targeted by your opponent's card effects. So a 3k body which can't be targeted, destroyed, and can attack directly. It has won me games. It has come in clutch and won me games. So we love him. But the actual boss monsters of the deck are 1 Bowl Sword, 1 Avelmax, and 0 Boros. 0 Boros probably doesn't come up that often because we don't run Desires, so we don't get the massive attack boost. Probably stop him for Appaloosa, but he's fine. One thing you can do with him, which we'll be getting into in a minute, because we're not done yet. We haven't come across the Crusadia part yet. You can summon a Crusadia card to its zone with their own effects to nuke the board. But we'll get into that in a minute. Because so far we've only seen 1 Crusadia card and it's Reclusia in the main deck. So let's carry on to the side deck. Extra deck, pretty standard, but side deck. This is where the fun begins. Okay, yeah. 2 Crusadia Magius, 2 Regulax, 3 Maximus, 2 Draco, 2 Leonis, the other 2 Reclusia, 1 Testament, and 1 Power. The side deck is Crusadia. Between games, we swap out the Orcust stuff for the Crusadia stuff to go from Mekk-knight Orcust into Mekk-knight Crusadia. And basically, I wanted to play both decks at once. So that's what we're doing, we're playing both decks. It's very basic, it's just your normal Crusadia stuff, you hit hard, punch, smack, link climb, smack, power, smack, testament, draw 3. Groovy. Now to answer the question of why is there only 2 Reclusia in the side deck and 1 in the main deck, that is simply because we run out of side deck space. There's 15 cards here, we run 3 Reclusia. We couldn't get a 3rd one in here. And I have 11 cards which could have gone back into the main deck. I feel a special summon and destruction effect was the best. Personally, we could have gone for Draco to potentially recycle Equimax, but I think that's even more clutch than just drawing and summoning Reclusia for a destruction effect. Basically, we swap out the 2 Crescendos, the... shit. What are we called? What's it called? Return, Skeleton, Bombard, Card Destruction, Nightmare, Ruled Wand, that's 8. Galatea, Dingersu, Instant Fusion, Winder, Foolish Burial. Oh, there's one more. There's one more card. I don't know what the last one was. Oh, I think we take out 2. I think I've gone overboard with what we're taking out, but we do take out 2 of the Orcust Gersu cards. But that gives me 17. 16, so I've gone overboard there. I think we keep Foolish in. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Thing is, we take out the Orcust stuff to put in Crusadia. And at that point we sort of try and OTK or just punch hard so the opponent doesn't recover. Realistically, we don't need to run multiple Regulex or Magius because, you know, traditionally Crusadia is all about OTK. You just punch as hard as you can, as quick as you can. But because it's not pure, we're running Mekk-knight as well, we can grind out a bit. So having those extra copies to go into when we need to it's handy. It has come up and it's nice. And I don't think there's really much else to say about the deck. Obviously this isn't the most optimized version. You could easily optimize this deck by running one of them, either Mekk-knight Orcust or Mekk-knight Crusadia, and then cutting down from 45 cards, we're at 45 cards, so we can get all the side stuff in and keep the main stuff in. And it's janky, it's fun, I don't care. There's obviously some extra deck slots we can fix up, like Double Morning Star, Phoenix, Clara and Rushka. You don't need all those, you can slot in other things if you so wish. That's just what I personally like. Anyway, that's the deck. Mekk-knight Orcust Crusadia. It's grindy. It's kind of grindy. You can grind out. You can grind out in game 1 because of the Orcust stuff. You can try and OTK in game 2 because of Crusadia stuff. And the Mekk-knights just keep you afloat. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. And I'm going to keep trying to refine it, but I'm more or less happy with where it is. Again, other than a couple maybe extra decks, changes, I think we're Gucci. But anyway, that's the deck. I once again do not care if you like it or not. It's my deck, and I do like it. So yeah. Goodbye.